You are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with FullEffectGaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games. Level Head Gamer. John Shaw. K-Bomb 20. D2K. Jedi Knight. The Live and Level Gamers podcast, where gamers come to talk.
What's up, people? It's your boy, Levelhead, back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. And this is the Slap Yourself edition. Yes, we will be slapping people all show. Anyway. All right, now let's get it. I'm having my fun. Let's introduce everybody. First, starting with my KC, who to my left. But John Shaw, go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy John Shaw, back with another podcast. Let's get it popping.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was ready to go. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
So you want to slap Sean?
No, I thought he was telling me to push it. I didn't know.
So disrespectful.
I got the itchy finger over here, man.
Man, dang, man. Just slap myself. Okay, I'm going to slap myself then. Okay.
All right, Jedi Knight.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Jedi Knight here. I feel like I haven't been here for like a month since before Easter. Either the time schedules or, things we were just missing each other, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you've been on here, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a month, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, D2K.
What's going on, everybody? It's D2K. Let's get it popping.
All right, now K-Bomb 20 could not make it. I'm not gonna say why he couldn't make it because I got to figure out what that cryptic tweet or text he sent me was, but. He can't make it, so you'll see him the next time we do the podcast. Anyway, like I said, this is the Slap Yourself edition. So you know where we going with this one, man. So it's gonna be a lot of this. Yeah. So
a lot of Tex Avery.
So anyway, man, let's do what we always do. Let's start out with what we've been gaming on. So since Jedi Knight been gone for so long, let's start with him, man. What you been gaming on, Jedi?
I guess we're gonna start off with a slap myself then, because I've been gaming on Madden 08, and I purchased this game a few weeks back because I've just been so thirsty for football. I got it for the PC, and it just reminds me of everything that I've always hated about Madden. So maybe I should smack myself for that. Can I get that going? A smack yourself?
You know, I'm my finger ready to go anytime you need it, man.
But that's pretty much what I've been gaming on, Matt.
But I saw that video that you did about that. But the Madden 08 that you have, that's updated rosters, right?
Yeah, I got the updated rosters from this past season, but it's still the nonsense. You know how when Madden wants to cheat you out of a particular down, your blockers, your offensive line will suddenly, just grow dumb and not block, or people will get like this incredible burst of speed. Madden is an unusual beast, even on PC.
Yeah. Like when you get the first down clearly, but they don't give it to you.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna send it over to D2K.
I pretty much the same thing since last Thursday. I've been gaming on the Gears of War 4 beta, and playing the normal stuff I normally play, my Halo Wars and Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and and I played the Sunset Overdrive because it's one of the games with gold this month, Xbox One, and that game is it's the language is unnecessarily vulgar, but the gameplay itself is kind of fun. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Infamous a little bit with the grinding on the power lines and edges and stuff like that. It's got a lot of some of the similar elements to that, but it's interesting. It's something to do, something to play. You just have to make sure you hit the vulgarity switch so everything is bleeped out because there's a lot of bad language in there.
Oh man. Okay. Anything else? Anything else?
No. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shaw?
But I played some what do you call it? Division with you, and then I played like a one level of Angry Video Game Nerd Ass Simulation something.
Okay.
It's like it's made by the dude over at Screw Attack, whatever. It's a little retro type game. It's pretty cool. It's alright.
Okay. All right.
So he made the game, or is it just based off of him?
No, he made the game, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll get more information about that. I just downloaded it.
So, I've been playing the Division. I played about an hour. I got about 30 minutes to an hour into it.
You got
not the Division, but that deserves a slap yourself. But not the Division.
No, go ahead.
That's about how long you played.
Slap yourself. I'm telling you, man.
That's about how long you played the Division before you fell asleep.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's another one. I was falling asleep while I was playing online with King Cooper and Just Shaw. Slap yourself. But you know what? I was falling asleep. Like, I fell asleep so many times, I had to tell him, look, I gotta get off, man. I done fell asleep standing there. Probably like, why you ain't shooting, man? Why level ain't shooting? But anyway, I've been playing that Quantum Break. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I'm liking how it's starting off. I like the ambience. I like the largeness of the environments. Like, it really feel like you in a huge place. Like, the scale of, like, right now I'm at a college on campus. I can't think of the name of the campus, but I'm on this campus and I'm in the laboratory where they is working on. If you want to, you want to know that, you have to go play the game. But the scale and the size of the stages and how you feel like the protagonist is actually in proper dimensions to what a human being would look like in a building that large. You get what I'm saying? So, you know how sometimes you play games and your character and the stage don't really showcase how big the environment is. Well, this game really captures it, and I like that. The graphics are nice, not as great as they were selling us, all those E3s, but it's still a nice looking game. But I haven't gotten far enough in it to really give it whether it is a plus or what we call now a flush it. So.
Well, maybe the reason why it feels that way, maybe because the draw distance is larger.
Yeah, the draw distance is crazy, dude. So
it's not like stuff is popping in as you go. It's like the stuff is physically there, and you are working your way towards an object that you see way off in the distance. That could be why it feels larger.
Yeah, it does. It feels. I mean, when you notice it right off, man. Like when I didn't actually know, I thought it was a cut scene that I was looking at. It was actually what I was supposed to be playing, and that kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, oh, they're finna act out some stuff, and then they let me play. It was the actual game. So only other game that kind of did me like that was Uncharted at a few times. Uncharted and Rise of the Tomb Raider did that a few times too. But anyway, so that's what I've been playing. I also played, like I said, the Division. What else did I play? That's pretty much it, man, in life. So let's get it in, man. Like I said, this is the Slap Yourself edition. So randomly throughout this podcast, you will hear this. Just know a rant is on its way. So, but before we go there, we want to talk to Jedi Knight about a video that he posted a few days ago. It's up on FullEffectGaming.com. That's FullEffectGaming.com. Go check us out. But Jedi, man, bring us into the you know what I'm saying, basis of your video and what you was trying to relate. It was about a 28-minute video. I thought it was great. If you haven't checked it out, we'll try to put it in the what's that down there? What's that section called?
The description.
The description. We'll put it down in the description. You can go check it out. Oh man, do I need to hit it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, so
We should keep a tally on how many times you get your own slap yourself in your own broadcast.
So let's go ahead and turn it over to Jedi since he's been gone for so long. We've been trying to get you, we've been missing your voice. So go ahead and fill us in, man.
All right. Well, to start, it was really based on a video that I seen. A person who I'm subscribed to. His name is Snorth93.
Yeah.
Over on YouTube, and he made a video. This was a while ago. The video that you're talking about was part 2 to that. But basically, in his original video, he was talking about he made a comment, and it was based on the essence of console gaming. And I understood what he was saying, but I didn't agree with it because it was one of those things where people are so afraid of change, where they feel like they're no longer going to have options that will always be there for them. So the first video was trying to explain how people back in like the NES and the Super NES days, when we started to get into like 3D polygons, and there were certain people who felt like they didn't really want to go that avenue because they really like their side-scrolling platformers, they like their Metroidvania games. They were really caught up in the whole new dynamic of 3D and 3D polygon play, and a lot of people really weren't geared towards that, and they felt like it was going to be such a drastic change to the gaming industry itself that things that they liked personally, they would no longer have. And in the first video, I was explaining how not only did the evolution or the advancement of gaming not dismiss or disregard that particular genre of gaming, but today Metrovania could be, the biggest ever in respects to the amount of games in that particular genre. Once I completed that video, I got into the second video, which is what you're talking about, which was the different areas of gaming, which is consoles, mobile, and PC. As I was making that first initial video, I realized that a lot of guys who are PlayStation 4 owners, right, that don't like the idea of the PlayStation Neo. And for the record, everybody has, the right to their own opinion. Right, I'm only just giving my own opinion on this. But what I have noticed is it's the people who have the hardware ready, the current PlayStation 4. They have a problem with this upgrade. Mind you, when it came to superiority, when it came to raw power, when it came to these aspects in relation to Nintendo, then everybody was pointing the finger at Nintendo, or quote-unquote Nintendo fanboys, saying that their piece of plastic, their company that they, love to support, need to really catch up because this is where it's going. And to a certain extent, they had a very good point. And this is something that Nintendo had to really recognize, that trying to be such a contrarian or trying to be so different all the time can kind of alienate you, right? Now what we're having is the people who are really into the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One really trying to throw dirt on the PC aspect of gaming or the mobile aspect of gaming, and now they're starting to give those same excuses that they would accuse the Nintendo supporters of giving. Like, well, it's really not about power, it's about gameplay, it's about innovation, it's about first parties. You can't have it both ways. If PC has the ability to be infinitely upgradable, it could be infinitely customizable, this is something that the developers of these consoles have to take into consideration. And if they don't, they're gonna find their way of the dodo bird. And in that second video, what I showed was a side-by-side clip, excuse me, of a game called Assassin's Creed Identity, and the first Assassin's Creed 1. The games are not absolutely identical. But if you just give a glance at each game, it would be really hard to tell the difference between the two. And the overall point that I was trying to relay was mobile gaming, outside of the interface, the lack of buttons and it just being a touchscreen, is really not that far behind from consoles. And PC is really making a case for itself when it comes to having third-party AAA games as well as power. And I just think that now people who've been such Xbox fans and PlayStation 4 fans have now gotten that feeling like they don't really have to listen to the noise outside of their little bubble, because as what Nintendo fans used to do, it's really not relevant to me, when in reality it is. But that was pretty much the essence of my videos.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I really enjoyed. I didn't see the first one. I might need to go back and watch the first one, but I enjoyed some of the points you was making in the second one, and how this is a reality that as gamers we're gonna have to start embracing and accepting as a part of the experience now. You know, upgradable systems and all that might be a wise thing for these companies to entertain, because, like you said, things are changing and technology is changing, and if you can interchange and swap out stuff in your systems, then that alleviate that pressure of feeling left behind, or especially if you had that like PC mind. But I see Sean took his mic off, so go ahead.
See, I have to. If they came out with a new generation and said this is what our new systems are going to be like, I can be okay with that, because we knew what we were getting into when we started. But the fact that we're going into this half-cocked, we haven't even delivered none of the stuff that they promised off of this generation yet, for them to go off and throw in a whole other system. The reason why I didn't have a problem with what Xbox was going to do versus what Sony was trying to do is I have to get rid of my whole system. Versus Xbox, I'm just adding something onto it. Same thing with PC. I don't have to get rid of my whole PC. I can just take a part out, put a part in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I still have my same PC. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case with the PS4.5. That means when I buy that, if I want the new graphics and all that stuff, I have to get rid of this whole system. This whole system is getting unhooked from the TV, and I have to go out and buy a whole new system. I feel like that's not cool, especially only being 2 or 3 years. We still haven't got half the games that you promised. All the games that we were supposed to get at launch are being pushed back. You kept getting pushed back, and you've been giving us rehashed games from last generation. And I feel like them to come out and just put this out now, that's my problem with the whole upgradable console thing. Now, if they come if PlayStation 5 comes out and it's like, okay, hey, this console is going to be upgradable and so, and this is how it's going to be, then I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But right now, they have an obligation to us, the consumer, right now, to give us a product that they sold to us, that they promised us, and to give us the products and finished products, complete games that are not broken. And I'm not here to beta test your product for $400-something.
Right.
And I feel like that's what they're trying to do with us right now. It's like that means this whole PlayStation 4 was a joke. If that's really what it needs to be, if that's what they need to go forward, is the PlayStation 4.5. What you just told me is that the system I just bought from you is a joke, just like my Vita was a joke, just like my PlayStation Move was a joke, just like everything else you just sold me is a joke. And that's what I have a problem with. And I have no problem with moving forward, but right now is not the time to move forward unless you just don't call it PlayStation 4.5, because that's just stupid. Why don't you save it for the next generation, so we can start it on the next generation, and this is how we're gonna move on, so everybody knows what's going on up front, right off the bat, and nobody will feel like they got left out. If you don't want to go to that next generation, then you just won't go to the next generation. But right now, you still owe us something right now, and I feel like with the PlayStation 4, you haven't delivered upon that. Even with the Wii U, even though the Wii U had this incident, it wasn't the Wii U's fault; it was third party's fault. But Nintendo themselves still delivered a console and delivered an experience with the Wii U. While we might be upset with some of the stuff, they still delivered. And I can say they delivered more on than what PlayStation delivered with the PS4 if they decide to go ahead with this next year and do this PS 4.5.
Okay. Which brings me
Can
to
I intervene on that?
boy, you better be lucky you stopped me, man. I was about to hit. Boy, you pulled my gun out the air. It was actually loaded, man.
You know, I'm gonna be silent and I'm gonna let you go at that, but I want to definitely touch that.
I come after it. Go ahead, you took the moment. Go on, take it.
I'm sorry, man. Shaw, I completely understand what you're saying. I understand, but what I don't think that many people understand is that this is not alienating or dismissing the purchase that people have already made. Put it like this:
Sony's track record will show that it is. Like they say, oh, we're not gonna alienate this. I don't even give it a year.
Sure. I mean, granted, I can't speak for the future. What I can speak for is the examples you gave. PlayStation Move was a failure. The PS Vita was a failure. The PlayStation 4 is a success. That is the difference between what you're comparing it to. There's no reason, right, to alienate 40 million consoles or 40 million install base. There's no reason for it. However, Sony does acknowledge, they understand that they cannot have this system for another 3 years, 4 years with the specs that it has. So what they're doing is they're giving you an upgraded version. However, the games will still come out for both versions. So you don't ever have to, like what you said earlier about, well, you purchased this and you didn't get what you were expecting to get, and you purchased this console and that peripheral. You don't have to buy the PlayStation Neo, right? If you stick with your PlayStation 4 and Sony goes by their word and continues to make sure that every game that comes out is compatible with both the Neo and the PlayStation 4, then there is no problem.
Okay, I gotta give you a slap yourself on that one.
Okay.
Because Sony going by their word. They haven't even gone by their word on this system.
But you have to also understand when was the last time gamers went by their word? Like people, I mean, we're to the point now where people think that they have to spend their money. I've made a video about that specific topic a little over a week ago. When people were saying, well, now I have to buy this. You don't have to buy it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You don't have to buy it. But this is my point. Do you think developers are going to continue to make the lesser game on the PS4 when they got the specs that they want on the PS4.5? How long do you think they're really going to do that?
Like I said a second ago, I can't really speak for the future. What I can speak on is what they're saying. This is actually one of the reasons why when consoles come out or when games come out, and I know you guys heard me say this before, especially when it comes to games, I don't pre-order. I never give my money before I get a product, and I don't buy day one because I want to at least get a review from gamers to kind of see what the game is like.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
at
the end of the day, I have to take them for their word. Right?
No,
that doesn't mean
I can't take you to the word.
Hold on. Let D2K jump in here. And,
okay, go ahead.
let's get some space. Then Shaw, you come right in after him, I guess. Go ahead, D2.
Well, I mean, I basically agree with both John and Jedi, different reasons. I mean, I agree with John that Sony has not proven to be trustworthy with their hardware in the past. We think about, PlayStation Move, the PlayStation Camera, PlayStation Vita, the Wonder Book, PlayStation Home, PlayStation Now, all these things that Sony has done. They seem like they do things just to be doing them. They create technology and then they try to figure out what they're going to do with it later. Versus other companies, they come up with an idea and they build the technology around that idea. And with this particular generation, he's right from the standpoint that many of the promises that Sony made with the PlayStation 4 have yet to be realized. And this is a huge step and a huge leap of faith for them to ask the gamers to trust them, that they will make sure that games that are in development for PlayStation 4 family, let's put it that way, will be scalable, because that's the only way that this works. If the games from now on for the PlayStation 4 are scalable, which means that it's like a PC game where you buy a PC game, and if you have a mid-range rig, you can play it at certain levels. You got a high-range rig, you can play it at certain levels. You got the best top-of-the-line rig, you can play it at ultra settings. If it's like that, then PlayStation 4 owners should not feel like they're left out in the cold because they're all getting the exact same game. But if developers have to make a separate version of the game for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Neo, now you're basically going back to the Wii U situation, which one of the reasons why the Wii U fell apart, because developers did not want to have to make a Power PC version just for the Wii U and then make an x86 version for everything else. And developers these days are going to find every excuse that they can not to do extra work. So that's where it can fall apart. But where I agree with Jedi is that if they do it the right way, which is that they do make the game scalable, everybody gets what they want, because you're not going to have a situation where developers have to make the game for two different consoles, and people who already own PS4s will still get to play the same game, even if they're not getting the best graphics out of that game.
Okay. All right. Shaw?
Now, my thing about this is, like, even like you said, how some PCs you can play everything. Even at that, with the PCs, some PCs get left out. Some specs get left out, and you just can't play those games on a thing. And it all comes down to what the developer wants to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with the Wii U. Yeah, they made Wii U games until, PS4, what's next? Now, I don't want to make Wii U games no more because there's not enough power on it. You know what I'm saying? Companies like Sony can say, oh, well, if you make our games, you're going to have to make... Well, guess what? Then next thing you know, companies are going to be jumping ship from Sony. You know, because they don't want to do that extra work. But my thing is, stay focused on what you have right now. You have 40 million units. Why are we jumping? What is the point? And so if you're trying to say that we needed more power, that means you lied about the system in the first fucking place. So there's another reason why I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, my finger is really on the trigger right. Go ahead. I'm really like,
well, that's my thing. Is like, you always say I really can't trust you because, like, what have we done with the PlayStation 4? Nothing. So now you tell me I need a 4.5? That means we did nothing with this.
Can I come in now? Can I?
No, Jedi Knight's coming in. He wants to come
in. All right.
Well, John
Shaw
is hot, so I'm going to do exactly what that man says.
I just want to understand, because I just can't. I understand if it's a whole new system and we're going to a whole new generation. I totally understand that of a whole new generation, but we're still in this generation, and why are we going? So why are we going? We just abandoning this to go to the next thing because.
But that kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the last podcast with the Sony representative, and I think Jedi touched on this also. Is that he said he kind of had a big question mark over PlayStation 5.
Right.
You know, he kind of said if there's a PlayStation 5, and I think that as far as generations that we're used to, accustomed to, that's over. I think that the 8th generation was the last generation.
Okay with that. But right now, you need to give me what you need to support this damn system.
Well, I mean, I think that they're basically, it's either one or two things. Either they're basically, like you said, maybe the PlayStation 4 was a beta test for what they actually wanted to do. I think in some ways, I think that all three of these new consoles that are coming, the PlayStation Neo, the NX, and the Xbox 1.5 are all going to be what we should have gotten this generation from each company.
And
I've always said that to me the Wii U felt like a prototype for what they wanted to do but couldn't do at the time. And I think that the PlayStation Neo is what Sony wanted to do but couldn't do at the time. Because they wanted to make a console that they can sell at a profit right away. If they had done now, what if they did then what they're doing now? It would have sold at a loss. They would still would have had a 40 million units, but it would have sold at a loss, and they wouldn't be as good off as they are financially right now. So I think that what we're seeing is what we should have got in the first place.
There you go.
But I think that as we go forward, this is the way it's going to be. Like you saying that if this was the ninth generation, if that's what we're going to be from now on, I think the ninth generation starts now. I honestly believe that.
Then we're fucked. I'm just saying we were totally fucked because they got us by the toe and we're fucked.
That's probably true, but I mean I can see the forest through the trees. I can see that this is where they're going because these third parties, they pretty much have dictated how these consoles are being developed, saying we want this, we want that, and then we saw that wasn't the issue. It was based off the fact that these developers were lazy. They had all the power they needed, they just weren't doing what they needed to do. These publishers are not giving these companies the time to develop games that they need to develop them, and they say we need more power, more power. You get more power. We still get half-done games. We still get games that's broken. We still get games that's half-done and we paying full price for, and you giving us what we should have gotten the game in the first place and making us pay extra for it, DLC. The big light has been shown on that. Everybody can see that now. They can't play that game anymore. So now these companies, these console manufacturers are saying, look, we're not going to keep losing money on making these big iterations for consoles and losing money on hardware loss. We don't have to. If we could just make a console just a little bit better than the last generation, a couple years apart, then we don't have to worry about losing all that money. And from Microsoft's standpoint, they could say, you know what, we could just forgo consoles altogether, just concentrate on the operating system, and everything will be profit.
I feel we're going down a slippery slope. What is that?
The gun is cocked, man.
Oh. So, you can't be doing that. I'd make sure this comes to the speakers. I was like, oh.
I've been waiting patiently, man. This brings me to my first honorary. And it goes to Sony. Doggone it. I've been waiting to say that for a good minute. But anyway, it's the confusion that we talking about right now. Like, how in the world do you release a system, sell us on 1080p, 60 frames per second? This is the system that's going to do it all. You got 8 gigabytes of DDR, whatever that was. You really hyped it up. And D2K hit on it. They couldn't afford to sell a system at a loss, so they used hype and smoke and mirrors to get the fans to back them up. They knew the verbiage to say. They knew everything to get us to support them. They dropped out of the whole DRM thing. They used what Microsoft done and pulled a 360 on them. And then they came out, got everybody behind them. PlayStation 4 selling like hotcakes. And they knew the whole time that was not the system that they wanted to release. Now, I understand what Jedi Knight is saying, and I agree with him. I think that's a beautiful future, to where you can buy a system where it's updatable. You don't have to feel limited and isolated from the pack because your system is not capable of doing what all the other systems can do. But the simple fact that they're introducing this midway through, and I feel jaded for this reason. I feel like, slap yourself. Yeah, myself. Because I just went out and bought this PlayStation 4 not even 4 months ago. And like John Shaw said, and like D2K said, Sony's track record, whether the PlayStation 4 is successful or not, is not trustworthy. How long do I bank on third party and the developers to do what Sony is trying to strong arm them to do, when Sony is still playing these people to put the games that they need to be on top on the system? So Sony is not in a position to strong arm anybody. So you getting fed by a third party. That's the only reason you in the lead, because third party decided to back you and make the differences between Xbox and One and the PlayStation 4 and making things look a little bit better, when I'm pretty sure they could do what they are doing on the PlayStation 4 on the Xbox One if they wanted to. They can make Wii U games look better if they wanted to. But the Fact is, they don't have to, so they don't. So Sony was the one that they used, made them look good. They selling like crazy. Now you're going to make them same people who you need make both games? Sony don't have that leverage. So I can't trust Sony. So I'm with John Shaw on that end. I'm with D2K, but I'm with you also with what you saying with how the upgradable systems and all that is the better future. I agree. That's why I enjoyed the video so much. But I can't. If it was Nintendo, I would probably think like, well, I might be able to trust them. If it was Microsoft, I might even say I might be able to trust them. It's Sony. It's freaking Sony. I can't do it. I refuse to do it. I ain't doing it. No. You know what? Matter of fact, this is what the PlayStation 4 gets. Flushed. Forget it. It's over. It's finito. It's done. The writing's on the wall, folks. I'm so mad at this generation. I'm so mad because I duped myself. I duped me. I freaking duped me. Now, I'm sorry. Y'all shouldn't have gave me that slap yourself trigger because it's going to be going off all the time. And I ain't even got to the person I want to talk about yet. But anyway, I'm turning it over to whoever want to talk because I'm talked out right now. My gun is, you know, when you shoot too much and you got to cool down, I'm cooling off right now. So D2K takeover. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I apologize. I'm apologizing right now, but the bazooka is going to go off again, and y'all just stay tuned. All right, go ahead. I'm done.
Let's see if we can cool things down just as, you know, I mean, you know, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens over the next couple of months. You know, E3 is, you know, about a month and a half, 2 months away. Later on this week, I believe is Wednesday, we're going to see Nintendo is going to have an investors meeting on the 27th. And more than likely, you know, if there will be some information about the NX that comes out of that investors meeting, and Nintendo will probably follow it up with a Nintendo Direct to give their spin on what we've heard. So we should finally find some concrete information. I don't expect much, but at least something tangible regarding the NX this week. But even if that doesn't happen, you know, like I said, E3 is a couple of months away. We'll find out about it then. We'll find out about PlayStation Neo, about, you know, we'll get the direct answers on whether or not developers are going to have make the game scalable, or if the game if we had to make separate games for each, the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 and Neo.
Well,
to me, I think that's an absolute disaster.
Well, PlayStation, I think they came out and said that that when they make the games for it, they had to be scalable, whatever, to the older system. But I'm just saying, it's like that never lasts. It never lasts.
Well, that's never happened before.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's never happened before.
In console gaming, I mean, even like when you go back to the 32X, you still had to buy an actual 32X game in order to give you that full arcade experience in terms of a game like Mortal Kombat or what's another, like I think it was a WWF Rage in the Cage CD or something like this. Stuff like that. There was in order to get the actual arcade, you had to get all the different pieces to put together. But you know, if what you're saying is true, that the developers are going to make the game scalable, this is something that we haven't seen in console gaming before. And I think that we'll see what happens. I can't say it'll be successful or a failure. We haven't seen it yet. We'll just see what happens.
Ken, I want to chime in on that really quick.
Go ahead.
There was one, I don't want to call it anything confirmed, but one thing that I did hear was, even with older games, the statement was, older games will not change unless the developers of the older game decided to provide a patch in order for the PlayStation Neo to have advancements in the game. That right there gives me the indication that these are not two completely separate games. It's a scalability situation. If you pop in a CD, it will recognize whether you're running on a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation Neo. If you're running on a PlayStation Neo, you will be able to take advantage of different things based on the specs of that hardware. If you're running on a PlayStation 4, then there will be certain things that you will not be able to be privy to given the system that you're running. But I have to disagree with something here, and I think that maybe it's because my perspective of really being a casual gamer. But I don't think that Sony is making a bad decision here. And furthermore, I don't think that Sony was led astray. I think that the console industry really didn't understand the transition here. I think, honestly, that is what happened. I don't think that they understood the presence of PC gaming as well as upgradability that comes along with it. And I think that this is what they're trying to do and make a transition mid-generation on top of the fact that the consoles themselves are not that powerful because it's hard to get bleeding edge technology for $400. It's hard to do that.
Right. And that's why I lean to, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't think Sony, but I don't, if I did disagree with you, Jedi, I'd be here. I believe Sony did know what it took. They just wasn't in a financial position to take the step to do it. And it goes back to what D2K said, because he hit it right on the money. That was what they could, that's all Sony could do at the time. Sony was, out of all three companies, Sony was literally in no position to play a game. Their TV department was down. They was in red. They was on the verge of bankruptcy. People just don't want to be real about it, but they was on the verge of it. They was literally, some of their stock owner was talking about selling certain parts. They sold some parts. They sold the computer part, all that, because financially they just could not afford it. So the moves that they made with the PlayStation 4 was what they could afford. They had to sell it at cost because they couldn't sell it at a loss anymore. So I don't think that they thought it was going to take off like it did. I don't think they expected the PlayStation 4 to be selling almost 3-to-1 to everything else like it is. So now that they have made all this money, it's Sony. Now we got the money to really realize what we wanted earlier than we expected to, and we got this VR coming out. We need something that can really run that. We know that the PlayStation 4 can't do it, so we're going to, again, lean on our fan base and the loyalty of our fan base, and we're going to release this system midway through that is pretty much the system that we probably would have released had we had the funds to do it midway through, and hope that the loyalty offsets the jaded fan. And that is yet to be seen. I'm not as big of a Sony fan like that, so if I would have bought this 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't feel as bad. But the fact that I just bought this, and I feel like, man, I could have saved that $350 and bought the new system. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Go ahead.
All right. I can understand that. And matter of fact, I'll even go that direction. First, you have a company that's making a business decision, albeit a good one, actually.
Right.
If this is their actual method to approach this generation, then what they did was a intelligent, viable decision.
Right.
Right? And then what they did was, once they were able to be financially stable, they're providing you with an upgraded system without alienating the people who supported them to get them back on their feet or in a quote-unquote stable financial situation. But one thing that I have to say, and this is what I really think is happening in gaming, and I wanted to do a video on this, and I haven't quite gotten to it yet. There was some information that I've seen from a couple of other YouTubers, and I believe that this is correct. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have their purpose in gaming, but the company that is really running the console industry is AMD. The reason why these companies, the reason why these consoles went to x86 architecture was because of AMD. All of the graphics chips, the APUs in these consoles are AMD. And the reason being is that once they implement that API, such as Vulkan, that can go on consoles, phones, PCs, everything else, their extending their tentacles, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting themselves in position to take over not just the console market, but kind of reintroduce themselves again in the PC market, because Nvidia just created a card or graphics chip, and it's selling for almost 10 grand.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have AMD making these APUs, and now they're in a space where they're actually making dual GPU chips on these APUs. So it's not only a CPU on the chip, but there are multiple graphics cards on the chip, and they're able to go into consoles. The console industry in the next 20 years is gonna be something crazy. And I don't see Sony doing this in bad taste. You have to realize the PlayStation 4 was the most powerful console this generation. The PlayStation 3 was the most powerful system that generation. The PlayStation 2 was the most popular console possibly in gaming history, with some of the best instant classics in gaming in history, arguably. Sony, for what it's worth, has been balling when it comes to this console game.
Yeah,
And it's really hard to look at their history and then say, well, Sony hasn't been coming through. Sony has really put together some awesome consoles.
I would say, and I would let the other guys speak for themselves. When you step away from the PlayStation 2 era into the PlayStation 3 until now, and some of the stuff that they said and touted, and some of the things John Shaw said, I would say back in the day, Sony track record was impeccable. They was just solid. They took over Nintendo's spot, and they honestly haven't relinquished it yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's be real. But I think, like Nintendo, Sony understands their fan base, and they understand how their fan base tick, and they know how to galvanize their fan base to support them, even when what they're giving you is not what they told you that they were giving you. So it's like, I'm not saying that they don't do good things and they don't, but what they say they're doing, oftentimes it ain't that. I remember the whole game that they had Uptown. It was real in-game footage and all that, and it turned out to be a CGI movie. They was lying the whole time. And other things, reacting to the Wiimote, but not really backing it, with the move, not really backing the move, not really the camera and all that that they got now is a reaction to Kinect, but they ain't really backing it. The Vita, they put all that tech, but they don't back it. So you buy the stuff, and even now, like, first-party Sony is dang near dead. But third-party has basically been carrying the PlayStation 4. Where's Cypher Filter? Where's all these games that created your fan base, that made your fan base so proud and bought in and sold in to Sony? Where's those games that made them be the fan that they are? Just like the reason I'm a Nintendo fan, I'm still getting those games that made me a Nintendo fan, whereas Sony, them folks can't even remember the games that made them Sony fans because they don't make them no more. So
I have the answer to that question when you're done.
Go ahead. I'm done.
The answer to the question is Sony does not have as many first-party games. For example, you talked about the PlayStation Move. You know why Nintendo was able to make the nunchuck and the motion sensor? Because the majority of Nintendo is first-party. So Nintendo had the same problem that Sony had. All of these extra peripherals were not being utilized by the developers. The difference is Sony's PlayStation, as well as the Microsoft Xbox, is basically a third-party box. Nintendo is a first-party box. Right. So Nintendo supports their own accessories. Sony does not have the resources to do it. Besides, the camera was a knee-jerk to Kinect. Yeah. The PlayStation Move was a knee-jerk reaction to the Motion Plus of Nintendo. However, they don't have the first-party resources to support it. So sometimes when they provide an accessory, and then the developer says, hey, I'm not going to support that because all the gamers are going to do is they're just going to buy Call of Duty every November, and play that, and then every August play Madden. It's I understand what you're saying, but a lot of this is the gamers' fault because the gamers are providing the money to allow developers to even have this particular type of mentality. And with Sony not having the first parties, they cannot support their own accessories that they basically presented. Nintendo can do it, but then again, who buys Nintendo consoles these days? 10 million people? The situation is kind of crazy.
I'm sorry, it fit. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Go ahead.
It's all right.
Shaw, I see you unmuted yourself, so go ahead. And then you
So-
can come in after him.
When they had the move controller, was a updated version, a more powerful version, and a more responsive version than the Wiimote. And at that time, that was the fad, whatever it was. Games like you said, Call of Duty, right? Well, why is it that Call of Duty, the same company, that same year, they made those games for the Wii U and the Wii with the remote, with the motion controls in it, but then when they came to the PlayStation, they left the controllers out. They left it. They didn't even try to use the move controller at all. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that they didn't have they couldn't do it. They just didn't want to do it. Also, I'd have to disagree with you with the first party studios. Sony has just as many first party games and game IPs as Nintendo has. Because you got Jack and Daxter, you got Ratchet and Clank, you got your Uncharted, you got your Siphon Filter, you got your SOCOM, you got the Warframe, Warhawk, and I can just go on and on and on and on with all the IPs that they have that they could use. There's still IPs that people are waiting on for them to use that they haven't used yet. Just like there's still IPs that Nintendo has that they haven't used yet. And so it's not the fact that they didn't. Sony came out with that first year that they Move controller came out. They made 3 games where they had the Killzone, SOCOM, and then they had this one. And then later on they had this little wizard game. Then that was it. That's all the games they made for it. Same problem with the Vita. They supported the Vita the first year. The problem with the Vita is they wanted to charge for the memory card the same damn near as much as it cost for the damn system. Nobody's gonna buy a 2 gig or a gigabyte of memory for fucking $200. No. When the system costs $250 or $300. So that's what killed. It's stupid decisions like that they kill it with, and then they try to blame it on the consumer. No, the consumers are smart. They don't want. The system is fine. That's cool. And then when they did drop down the memory down, then 2 weeks later, we're not making any more games for it. It's like you can't do that, and they expect to sell something, and they expect people to trust you. You know what I'm saying? Third party, they supported the Vita. They made all kind of games for it. It's all kind of little RPGs. There's a couple of shooters. There's lots of fighting games. Hey, I called it the fighting game system, the fighting game handheld, because it was all kind of Street Fighter, Tekken. They had all kind of stuff on that game on the Vita.
Dead or Alive was on there too.
Yeah, Dead or Alive. They had all kinds of fighting games on there. And, but then after that first year, other than they had what's the one with the girl that goes upside down? I forgot her name.
Girl to go upside down.
It was a Vita game, but now it's on the PS4.
Oh, you talking about? I know you're talking about. I can't think of it right now.
Well, they had Old Girl, they had Uncharted, they had Killzone, and then they had a couple other ones, and that's it. They didn't make no more games. They just stopped. You know what I'm saying? And this is some type of stuff that I'm saying. It's like and that's the whole thing why I don't like VR. Like, yeah, you toting this VR stuff, and while you sitting there and everybody's like, oh yeah, VR is so fun. Everything is fun when you're at a game convention standing in line for 20 minutes to play a 5-minute game. Everything is fun. But when that game comes home and you sitting there for hours and that 5 minutes of fun is gone, that's when you see the truth. Because let's be honest with you. When's the last time you seen somebody go to a game convention and say a game was crap? Ask yourself that. When's the last time you seen somebody go to a game convention, play a game, and say, "Oh, it was crap"? But you come home.
I would say was They didn't really say it was crap, but they questioned the controls with Star Fox. But that was.
That was at a convention. That's after they played it at a convention, or is that when they got home?
No, that was when they first actually when they first unveiled Star Fox. People were questioning the controls then.
Yeah. But that's about the only one.
Exactly. But now you see it. Now, how many games you come home and the games are actually total crap? A lot. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem with this jump into this new thing. Well, you have to fix your problems now, not jump to a whole new system with whole new problems. When we haven't fixed, like you have Street Fighter. What is an excuse for Street Fighter? They had no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for the order, copy and paste development and stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty. It looks great, but it's copy. Like if you go through the whole game, it's copy and paste. All it did is copy and pasted the environment and put a new drawing on it. And that's all they did. The same boss fights. The beginning boss fight is the end boss fight. Sorry, spoiler. But that's just what it is. And it's like this is my thing with the track record that Sony has. They have what they need to do what they need to do. They just don't want to do it. And they lied to us this generation, talking about we was going to get 1080p 60 frames per second. They tried to do that. All they was that bullshit stage show stuff that they do every fucking year at these conferences, and they sit there and throw all these smoke and mirrors. The Sony fans, they eat it the fuck up. They go buy the system, and then they want to ignore what the fuck is going on. That's my problem. That's why I have a problem with this new system, because nobody's addressing the problem that was with the PlayStation 4 right now. But y'all ready to go throw your money at this new shit.
Can I ask a question on that though? And actually, before I ask that question, let me just say real quick, you did have a point. Maybe I should just reword what I meant. Sony has a lot of IPs, but the PlayStation brand is not really known for those first-party IPs like the way Nintendo is with their first-party IPs. Sony has never been that type of company that has always established those, in-house developers that you can pretty much guarantee when you buy a Sony PlayStation, you're guaranteed those particular games, like the way you're guaranteed Mario and Super Mario Kart and so forth. You're guaranteed a lot of third-party games and second-party games. But to the other aspect is, I understand what you're saying about Sony saying one thing and then probably doing another, or not really fulfilling what they said. It's kind of like the PlayStation 2. Remember when at that E3 they were talking about the ultra panoramic view? You can put like two 16:9 TVs together and you can have that ultra wide view. That it wasn't the PlayStation 2, it was the PlayStation 3, I believe. And you would be able to have like this ultra wide view. Does anybody remember that E3?
What year was it?
Xbox?
I know it was either PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. I believe it was PlayStation 3. And they were saying that you could hook up two 16:9 TVs together. And they were showing a Gran Turismo, and you can
I do. I remember. Yeah. I don't know what year that was. I do know that when you said Gran Turismo on your head.
It was called panoramic viewing. It never ever came to the PlayStation 3. Never came. My thing is there should be a level of expectation that people should have already. It's kind of like with Nintendo products. I have a level of expectation when it's come to the last decade that Nintendo is not in that area of competing to be the most powerful. They want to do something really different and unique, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Sony and Microsoft, I think that people really need to check their level of expectations with them as well. If people are so disappointed about what Sony said, yet didn't deliver on, I don't understand how Sony was able to sell 40 million units.
Because this is what I'm sitting here trying to tell you. They have, and this is the problem with gamers today too. They don't listen, and they sit there and they Sony has their fans in a hypnotic trance. It's like Sony. I'm sitting trying to tell you, Sony fans are a fucking cult. They're a fucking cult. It's just this is what it is.
I'm trying to find that beat.
They're a fucking cult. They sit there. Anything Sony says, they'll sit there and believe it. They'll go out and buy it. And it's just like this is my problem. That's all I'm saying. But the thing that Sony doesn't support the shit that they told, but yet everybody will go out and buy it. Like everybody's hip hop ranting about VR, right? And everybody's ready to go buy VR. But I guarantee you, Sony will not support that system, that device, just like they don't support all the rest of their devices. Especially if they don't hit the sales that they want. Now here we are, a system that sold 40-something million units, and we're ready to move on to 4.5 because they need more power instead of just fixing the issue that they have now. Why is it that when we get a fucking game the first day, we can't even fucking play it online because we gotta wait for fucking 20 patches to come in?
Hold on, all right. PC, Shaw, PC.
Oh, my bad, man. No, we gotta wait for all these patches to come in. We gotta wait for this, and we say, oh, when this game comes out, we gotta do this. Like, we need to fix this first before we start jumping into the unknown and the futuristic part of gaming. It's like, because then once you jump into that unknown and that futuristic part of gaming, now everything is gonna we can't do this, so here's a $20 upgrade to fix this problem. Oh, we couldn't do this, so here's a $20 patch to fix this problem. You know, and that's the danger zone that we're going into with this next generation. But I feel like they need to fix what you have, the problems that you have now, which are fixable if they try, if they want to. Which are fixable, and they need to fix these problems now, deliver a good product to us now, and then going forward, then maybe I'm just going to speak for myself, then maybe I will have trust in Sony. But as far as I'm concerned, this is my last rodeo with Sony because I don't trust them, period.
But Shaw, the relationship that you have with Sony is not based on trust. It's based on merchandise and sales. I'll give you an example.
Because if I buy a product, I expect it to fucking work.
But what I'm saying is this. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is invalid. That is not what I'm saying. The last podcast that you guys did, I listened to it, right? And you made your case about Sony, and then you said that you may end up buying the 4.5.
Yes,
and giving your PS4
because I'm not. If I'm going to buy him another system, why the fuck would I go buy the old one?
What I'm saying is
we're about to throw it away.
What I'm saying here, Shaw, is you're not showing them with your money your displeasure. If I'm in a relationship, right? Say if it's me and my wife, and every time me and my wife get into a disagreement, you know, she does something real disrespectful, but my reaction to the disrespect is really not checking the situation or approaching or speaking to her about it in respects to my dislike. I kind of acquiesce and I dismiss it. I'm not giving her the indication that this is wrong.
No,
right?
you're absolutely right.
In your situation,
but at the same time, that's if I was to give him that would be the only reason I would buy it. But me, myself, and I'm not going out to buy it just because I want it myself. And that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to go get him a place, if he wants a PlayStation, and I'm going to get him play, I'm going to give him mine, and I'm going to get the other one. I'm not going to go buy a whole nother outdated system, just like his PS3, bro. I gave him my PS3 instead of me going out to buy another PS3. I went and bought me a PS4. I was like, I'm not about to go buy an outdated system.
What I'm saying is, buy the Nintendo NX. Show them that way.
I'm already buying Nintendo. I buy everything. I have everything.
But don't buy the PS Neo. That is the only way.
No, it's not the only way. Because you know why? Because there's going to be 40 fucking million drones that's going to do it anyway.
But you will be one less.
It's the same reason why we pay for DLC. Because you know what? DLC used to be free. Then you got them two bozos that decided to go pay for it.
But
I held out on buying DLC for the long. Yeah, I still don't even buy a lot of DLC now. But now it's become the norm.
So basically, let's bring an end to this fire.
Yeah.
I see what both of you got. Y'all basically, neither one are wrong. Let me say it like that. Now I'll let D2K chime in as well. Listening to both of you guys, y'all both making valid points. Y'all on two different spectrums of the same conversation, which neither one are wrong or right. Shaw is saying that, to me, what Shaw is saying that Sony has had opportunities to do right, and as a consumer has proven that giving them your money first without waiting to see what's going on and why they're doing it is a bad move, which I think you were saying as well, Jedi Knight. And what you say, and also what I hear you saying is that this is the way gaming needs to go in the future, which I think he agrees with. But at this present time and with this present system, I don't think neither one of y'all are wrong. Only thing I don't think is not being factored in is the fan base that Sony knows how to manipulate. And like he said, because Nintendo fan base the same way. So let's get off of this. Yeah. Nintendo fan base the same way.
Yes,
Microsoft fan base the exact same way.
Yep.
If it was Nintendo, it's gonna be enough folks out there that's gonna be so loyal that even though it's going against them as a consumer, they'll do it. The thing is, Sony has enough of a fan base that it could be profitable in a way that none of the others I would think would be as profitable, because they gonna support it in some ads. Maybe not the accessories, but systems. They typically support systems that Sony make. The only one I didn't see them support, and it was out of their price range, was the PlayStation 3. But once that price came into range, you saw what it done. So that'll be my little bit on it. Go ahead, D2K.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this short so you can go ahead and go to finish up with the slap yourself. All three fan bases have drones. All three fan bases have trolls. All three fan bases have occultic features in terms of how they just pretty much blindly buy or blindly toss their dollars at the company that they worship. You know, I can guarantee you that. I'm not talking about people like me or Leveled or some of the other Nintendo YouTubers that are out there that have already voiced their displeasure with Nintendo and what they need to do in order to compete. But I would guarantee you that whenever NX is unveiled, and if the NX is in some way, shape, or form less powerful than the PlayStation 4, but has a gimmick, you will see Nintendo fans come out in droves to defend that. When there's absolutely no logical reason to do that, but they will. And it's just like what John was saying about the Sony fan base as well. They may feel like they're being screwed, but they're going to go out and buy the PS Neo anyway. Same reason why Microsoft fanboys will go out and buy whatever Microsoft, they might go out and buy. If the Xbox One Slim is the Xbox 1.5, then they'll go out and buy that. Or if that's a separate SKU and the Xbox 1.5 is another SKU, they're going to buy both of them if they're a Microsoft fanboy. You know, so we're all kind of hypocritical in that aspect. But one of the things that I touched about earlier, and it kind of goes back to what both guys were saying, is that one of the reasons why the peripherals for the Wii worked is because Nintendo doesn't create technology and figure out what to do with it later. They think about a new way to play games, and then they figure out how to create the tech around that idea. And that's the reason why you can have a launch title like Wii Sports that was so all-inclusive to draw people in that had never touched a video game controller in their life. That's one of the reasons why you had so many different titles that kept people engaged and kept people excited about the Wii for at least 4 years, up until about 2010 is when you kind of had the Wii crash. But Sony knew that they needed the tech, so they created the tech, but they really had no idea what to do with it. And a good example of how you can kind of assume things and have things go wrong is that with the Wii U gamepad, Nintendo assumed that third parties would figure out new and innovative ways to use the gamepad, and the third parties was like, no, we're not doing that. You didn't show us anything innovative with Nintendo Land or Mario Brothers U or any of the launch titles that they had. The most innovative game that I played at launch for the Wii U was Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. And that's still, to me, to this day, that's the best use of the gamepad that I personally have had. But Nintendo, you can't really think of a standout game to say, wow, this really is a good reason to buy this system and have this gamepad. And Star Fox, it seemed like they tried to make that game to show off why the gamepad was necessary, and it backfired. Because now people are saying that it's an albatross, it's a noose, it's a hindrance to Star Fox being successful. So, I think that, when it comes to trust, there's been a lot of burned bridges in this generation. And I think that, like John said, we have to learn how to fix the problems that we have before we take on new challenges, because new challenges always come with problems. And if you have shown in the past that you're unwilling or unable to fix the problems of the past, there's no reason to expect things to get better in the future when you got so much more on your plate. I've never seen a company release 2 major pieces of hardware in such a short period of time, what Sony's planning to do. That could be a disaster. Not the PlayStation 4K itself, but releasing that and VR at the same time can be a major disaster if it doesn't go the way they exactly plan.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah. You just.
Yeah.
No, I ain't
he
gonna
kind of wins just
do
there.
another slap yourself because I don't feel I gotta be in that moment. I gotta catch that moment, so I don't want to force it. But anyway, I'm in a bind right now, folks. I'm a little pressed for time, and I don't know how to approach this. Do y'all want to table this, or do y'all want to continue and I just mute my mic? But since I'm hosting, there ain't no way that y'all can take over. That's the whole problem. So
yeah.
Level head down.
Oh, look. Flush it, John Shaw. Flush it. Anyway, this is a good podcast. I want to continue because there's so much that came up through this one.
Call off.
Huh?
Say call off.
No, I can't. I got to go do it before it get dark. I got to go do what I got to do. So what we're gonna do is, we have to table this, and we can pick this back up next Sunday when Jedi Knight is back on, and then hopefully after, because I think Nintendo's what's that?
What time is it where you at, Jedi?
I'm sorry?
What time is it where you're at?
It's midnight right now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
It's only 5 o'clock here.
That's why I make sure. That's why I try to be on here, is because I know he sacrificing his time, so I feel like we can sacrifice ours. So Sunday has been rolled into a regular day that we do it. But anyway, folks, this ain't for y'all ears. This is for the click ears. But anyway, so I'm gonna have to end it right here. I know that y'all was probably getting into it because we was having some good moments, but I got to go. So, I hate to bust that bubble, but I got to go, man. I got stuff I got to go do. Anyway, so any final thoughts before we get out of here? I wish I would have got the dude I wanted to get, but I get them. Don't worry about it. I get them, and I got some other folks I want to get anyway. So I save them and put them all in one little good old morsel of ratness. But anyway, I'll do it another time. But go ahead, starting with T2K. Go ahead, man. Say your final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, I just want to say to the gamers out there is that just learn how to make decisions based off of what you enjoy and not what other people are telling you should buy. That's ultimately the only thing that matters, is that you get your money's worth. It's your money. What you enjoy matters to you and nobody else. Don't let Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, or any third-party company tell you that you must get this. Just go out and buy the stuff that you like. I'll see you next time.
John Shaw?
Yeah, just my issue isn't with PS4.5, whatever you want to call it, Neo Genesis, but But my issue is it's too soon and it shouldn't happen right now. It's like it's something like this doesn't, as a consumer, this is not right now. It's not. It showed me that, okay, you got your money, so let's go move on to the next thing. I understand what you're coming from Jedi. I understand exactly where you come from, and I understand what you're talking about with the money thing. But I said, if I was to get another system, I'm not going to buy the same system over again when there's another system out there. That's like me going to buy an old iPhone when I know there's a new iPhone out there already. After I broke my phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not going to go buy the old one. Oh, why buy the old one again when there's a new one out here?
Right.
But my thing is right now I think it's too soon. Maybe I feel differently at the end of 2017 holiday season 2017, not 2016. I might feel different about that. But right now I feel like it's too soon. We haven't even been delivered any groundbreaking games. Nothing from my perspective of it, and I just feel like it's just too soon. And next podcast, I reiterate, so people don't think I'm just picking on Sony. I'll reiterate why my issue is with Sony and not with the other two.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, Jedi Knight.
All right. I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys. I know next Sunday what we need to do is we're gonna let Level get his slap yourself out of the way, because this seems to be quite the heated debate here. I do understand where you're coming from, Shaw, but I know we're a little pressed for time. So again, I appreciate meeting up with you guys, and yeah, till next week.
Yeah, man. See, and see how we can have differences of opinion and still be colleagues and still enjoy our company. So that's how it works, folks. But yeah, you're right, Jedi, man. The gun was ready to blow, man. But anyway, I get it. I got one out. But D2K took my gun out the air on one. I was finna get him. I was finna get who I wanted to get right there. He took my air. He said, "You know how you finna shoot somebody and somebody just running?" Cause no. Anyway, I guess he's like, "Don't shoot him yet, Level. Don't shoot him yet." But tune in if we get together Thursday. Hopefully we can do that. If not, we'll be back here Sunday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do Thursday or not because I got an event at my church, so I don't know how that's going to fall. So if we don't get back Thursday, we'll all be back. Hopefully, 2K will be not 2K, but K-Bum be available that Sunday as well. So Thursday or Sunday, stay tuned, people. Till then, deuces.
No gimmicks.